change that you wish to see in the world. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. An eye for an eye will only make the whole world blind. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. When I despair, I remember that all through history the way of truth and love have always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible, but in the end they always fall. Think of it always. Prayer is not asking, it is a longing of the soul. It is daily admission of one's weakness. It is better in prayer to have a heart without words than words without a heart. I like your Christ, I do not like your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. Freedom is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes. Your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values. Your values become your destiny. You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is like an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. I shall not fear anyone on earth. I shall fear only God. I shall not bear ill will toward anyone. I shall not submit to injustice from anyone. I shall conquer untruth by truth. And in resisting untruth, I shall put up with all suffering. Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. To believe in something and not to live it is dishonest. There are people in the world so hungry that God cannot appear to them except in the form of bread.
Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. Every heart sings a song, incomplete, until another. Those who wish to sing always find a song. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Only the dead have seen the end of war. The price good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. Do not train a child to learn by force or harshness, but direct them to it by what amuses their minds, so that you may be better able to discover with accuracy the peculiar bent of the genius of each. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. According to Greek mythology, humans were originally created with 4 arms, 4 legs and a head with 2 faces. Fearing their power, Zeus split them into 2 separate parts, condemning them to spend their lives in search of their other halves. I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. Love is a serious mental disease. One of the penalties of refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. The measure of a man is what he does with power. Ignorance, the root and stem of every evil. If women are expected to do the same work as men, we must teach them the same things. I'm trying to think, don't confuse me with facts. And when one of them meets the other half, the actual half of himself, whether he be a lover of youth or a lover of another sort, the pair are lost in an amazement of love and friendship and intimacy, and one will not be out of the other's sight, as I may say, even for a moment. There is truth in wine and children. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. The madness of love is the greatest of heaven's blessings. Education is teaching our children to desire the right things. Courage is knowing what not to fear. There are three classes of men: lovers of wisdom, lovers of honor, and lovers of gain. In politics, we presume that everyone who knows how to get votes knows how to administer a city or a state. When we are ill, we do not ask for the handsomest physician, or the most eloquent one. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help, and what they cannot. You should not honor men more than truth. When men speak ill of thee, live so as nobody may believe them. The beginning is the most important part of the work.
Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. It always seems impossible until it's done. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. One cannot be prepared for something while secretly believing it will not happen. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. There is nothing like returning to a place that remains unchanged to find the ways in which you yourself have altered. Lead from the back, and let others believe they are in front. I am not a saint, unless you think of a saint as a sinner who keeps on trying. There is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. As I have said, the first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself. Everyone can rise above their circumstance and achieve success if they are dedicated to and passionate about what they do. It is said that no one truly knows a nation until one has been inside its jails. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. I hate race discrimination most intensely and in all its manifestations. I have fought it all during my life. I fight it now and will do so until the end of my days. Sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great. You can be that generation. It is what we make out of what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person from another. We must use time creatively, and forever realize that the time is always ripe to do right. There is a universal respect and even admiration for those who are humble and simple by nature, and who have absolute confidence in all human beings irrespective of their social status. I have never cared very much for personal prizes. A person does not become a freedom fighter in the hope of winning awards. I never lose. I either win or learn. I like friends who have independent minds because they tend to make you see problems from all angles. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. I learned that to humiliate another person is to make him suffer an unnecessarily cruel fate. Even as a boy, I defeated my opponents without dishonoring them. Although I am a gregarious person, I love solitude even more. A nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Where you stand depends on where you sit. I am the captain of my soul. A leader is like a shepherd. He stays behind the flock, letting the most nimble go out ahead, whereupon the others follow, not realizing that all along they are being directed from behind. Appearances matter, and remember to smile. After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. Nothing is black or white. Great peacemakers are all people of integrity, of honesty, but humility. Freedom is indivisible. The chains on any one of my people were the chains on all of them. The chains on all of my people were the chains on me. There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Know your enemy, and learn about his favorite sport. Quitting is leading to. When the water starts boiling, it is foolish to turn off the heat. It is not where you start, but how high you aim that matters for success. Keep your friends close, and your rivals even closer. Let your greatness blossom. Tread softly, breathe peacefully, laugh hysterically. Success in politics demands that you must take your people into confidence about your views and state them very clearly, very politely, very calmly, but nevertheless, state them openly. In some ways, it is easier to be a dissident, for then one is without responsibility. Let there be justice for all. Let there be peace for all. Let there be work, bread, water and salt for all. Let each know that for each the body, the mind and the soul have been freed to fulfill themselves. When a man is denied the right to live the life he believes in, he has no choice but to become an outlaw. Without language, one cannot talk to people and understand them. One cannot share their hopes and aspirations, grasp their history, appreciate their poetry, or savor their songs. A good head and good heart are always a formidable combination. But when you add to that a literate tongue or pen, then you have something very special. As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. You will achieve more in this world through acts of mercy than you will through acts of retribution. Courageous people do not fear forgiving, for the sake of peace. The brave man is not the one who has no fears, He is the one who triumphs over his fears. There is no easy walk to freedom anywhere, and many of us will have to pass through the valley of the shadow of death again and again before we reach the mountaintop of our desires. Men have different capacities and react differently to stress. But the stronger ones raised up the weaker ones, and both became stronger in the process. Those who conduct themselves with morality, integrity and consistency need not fear the forces of inhumanity and cruelty. There are few misfortunes in this world that you cannot turn into a personal triumph if you have the iron will and the necessary skill. We owe our children, the most vulnerable citizens in any society, a life free from violence and fear. Difficulties break some men but make others. No axe is sharp enough to cut the soul of a sinner who keeps on trying, one armed with the hope that he will rise even in the end. Real leaders must be ready to sacrifice all for the freedom of their people. May your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's inspiring others to move beyond it.
If you judge people, you have no time to love them. Peace begins with a smile. We fear the future because we are wasting today. Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow has not yet come. We have only today. Let us begin. Every time you smile at someone, it is an action of love, a gift to that person, a beautiful thing. Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless. Do not think that love in order to be genuine has to be extraordinary. What we need is to love without getting tired. The most terrible poverty is loneliness and the feeling of being unloved. It's not how much we give but how much love we put into giving. A life not lived for others is not a life. I prefer you to make mistakes in kindness than work miracles in unkindness. If you find happiness, people may be jealous. Be happy anyway. I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. Love is a fruit in season at all times and within reach of every hand. God doesn't require us to succeed. He only requires that you try. The hunger for love is much more difficult to remove than the hunger for bread. Be happy in the moment, that's enough. Each moment is all we need, not more. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Prayer is not asking. Prayer is putting oneself in the hands of God, at His disposition, and listening to His voice in the depth of our hearts. I can do things you cannot. You can do things I cannot. Together we can do great things. Life is a song. Sing it. Life is a struggle. Accept it. True love is love that causes us pain, that hurts, and yet brings us joy. That is why we must pray to God and ask Him to give us the courage to love. I'm a little pencil in the hand of a writing God, who is sending a love letter to the world. If you are humble, nothing will touch you, neither praise nor disgrace, because you know what you are. Do not wait for leaders. Do it alone, person to person. Be kind and merciful. Let no one ever come to you without coming away better and happier. One of the realities we're all called to go through is to move from repulsion to compassion and from compassion to wonderment. Life is an opportunity, benefit from it. Life is beauty, admire it. Life is a dream, realize it. Live simply so others may simply live. Let us make one point, that we meet each other with a smile. When it is difficult to smile, smile at each other. Make time for each other and your family. If you can't feed 100 people, feed just one. Never worry about numbers. Help one person at a time and always start with the person nearest you. Love to be real. It must cost. It must hurt. It must empty us of self. Do not allow yourselves to be disheartened by any failure as long as you have done your best. Being unwanted, unloved, uncared for, forgotten by everybody, I think that is a much greater hunger, a much greater poverty than the person who has nothing to eat. Life is a challenge. We must take it. Poverty was not created by God. It is we who have caused it, you and I, through our egotism. People are unrealistic, illogical, and self-centered. Love them anyway. The person who gives with a smile is the best giver because God loves a cheerful giver. One filled with the joy preaches without preaching. I do not pray for success. I ask for faithfulness. I know I am touching the living body of Christ in the broken bodies of the hungry and the suffering.
I want you to be everything that's you, deep at the center of your being. True goodness springs from a man's own heart. All men are born good. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. Be strict with yourself but least reproachful of others, and complaint is kept afar. When you have faults, do not fear to abandon them. Act with kindness, but do not expect gratitude. Forget injuries, never forget kindnesses. It is more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. Hold faithfulness and sincerity as first principles. To be able, under all circumstances, to practice 5 things constitutes perfect virtue. These 5 things are gravity, generosity of soul, sincerity, earnestness, and kindness. Recompense injury with justice, and recompense kindness with kindness. Your life is what your thoughts make it. If we don't know life, how can we know death? Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Death and life have their determined appointments. Riches and honors depend upon heaven. The way you cut your meat reflects the way you live. If you look into your own heart, and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear? I slept and dreamt life is beauty, I woke and found life is duty. I'd rather die for speaking out than to live and be silent. It is easy to hate and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. All good things are difficult to achieve, and bad things are very easy to get. Love is like a spice. It can sweeten your life, however, it can spoil it too. To love a thing means wanting it to live. Can there be a love which does not make demands on its object? I have not seen a person who loved virtue, or one who hated what was not virtuous. He who loved virtue would esteem nothing above it. Love is often described as a fruit you can just reach out with your hand and pluck. However, one should beware that although glowing in color, the fruit could be poisonous, tainted, or rotten. Education breeds confidence. Confidence breeds hope. Hope breeds peace. You cannot open a book without learning something. Learn avidly. Question it repeatedly. Analyze it carefully. Then put what you have learned into practice intelligently. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. When you know a thing, to hold that you know it, and when you do not know a thing, to allow that you do not know it, this is knowledge. Learn as if you were not reaching your goal and as though you were scared of missing it. The essence of knowledge is having it, to use it. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. By three methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. No matter how busy you may think you are, you must find time for reading, or surrender yourself to self-chosen ignorance. Men's natures are alike, it is their habits that carry them far apart. Worry not that no one knows you, seek to be worth knowing. To see and listen to the wicked is already the beginning of wickedness. Never give a sword to a man who can't dance. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. Humility is the solid foundation of all the virtues. Wisdom, compassion, and courage are the three universally recognized moral qualities of men. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. If you are the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Sincerity is the way of heaven. The object of the superior man is truth. To see the right and not to do it is cowardice. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. One joy dispels 100 cares. Words are the voice of the heart. The cautious seldom err. To understand yourself is the key to wisdom. Study the past if you would define the future. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Ignorance is the night of the mind, but a night without moon and star. Three things cannot long be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The man who says he can, and the man who says he cannot are both correct. When a person should be spoken with, and you don't speak with them, you lose them. When a person shouldn't be spoken with and you speak to them, you waste your breath. The wise do not lose people, nor do they waste their breath. The superior man thinks always of virtue, the common man thinks of comfort. Those who know the truth are not equal to those who love it. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. When you see a good person, think of becoming like her or him. When you see someone not so good, reflect on your own weak points. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation, there is sure to be a failure. Desire to have things done quickly prevents their being done thoroughly. To go beyond is as wrong as to fall short. Do not let a leader lead you on a bad path. Go before the people with your example, and be laborious in their affairs. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential, these are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. The expectations of life depend upon diligence. The mechanic that would perfect his work must first sharpen his tools. The superior man understands what is right, the inferior man understands what will sell. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home. First, there must be order and harmony within your own mind. Then, this order will spread to your family, then to the community, and finally to your entire kingdom. Only then can you have peace and harmony. There are 3 degrees of filial piety. The highest is being a credit to our parents, the second is not disgracing them, the lowest is being able simply to support them. The parents' age must be remembered, both for joy and anxiety. It is not possible for one to teach others who cannot teach his own family. Anyone can find the switch after the lights are on. The funniest people are the saddest ones. To be wronged is nothing, unless you continue to remember it. The way out is through the door. Why is it that no one will use this method? The wheel of fortune turns round incessantly, and who can say to himself, I shall today be uppermost?